Close your eyes and travel back 2.5 million years. The world is raw, untamed, and unforgiving. Herds of giant elephants roam the plains. Saber-toothed cats stalk the tall grasses. Crocodiles wait silently in the rivers. In this world, early humans are small, fragile, and vulnerable. No weapons, no machines, no fire. Their only tools are their bare hands and teeth. To tear meat from a carcass, they must bite with dull jaws. To break open a nut, they must smash it against a rock until it cracks. To defend against predators, they must throw stones with weak. Before the first tools, survival was brutal. Early humans, small, ape-like creatures known as Australopithecus and later Homo habilis, lived in Africa's open landscapes. They were not rulers of the savannah. They were survivors in the Libe margins of a world dominated by predators. Struggles with food raw meat was almost impossible to chew. Their jaws strained against tough animal flesh. Breaking open bones for marrow, rich in fat and nutrients, was nearly impossible without sharp edges. Roots, nuts, and fruits often stayed locked inside hard shells. Many foods that could have given calories were wasted simply because humans lacked the means to access them. Imagine a scavenger scene. Lions bring down a zebra. Hyenas tear at the flesh. Vultures circle overhead. When the predators finally leave, the early humans, around 2.6 million years ago, in the valleys of East Africa, something happened that had never been seen before. A stone was struck against another, and from it, a sharp fragment broke free. That fragment became the world's first knife. This moment marked the dawn of technology. The birthplace of technology archaeologists call these the Oldowan tools, named after Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, one of the richest prehistoric sites on Earth. They were simple, sharp flakes chipped from larger rocks and heavy hammer stones used to crack bones. Yet they changed everything. With one blow of stone against stone, early humans unlocked a new world. Suddenly, the scraps of flesh left on bones could be sliced away. Marrow could be reached by shattering leg bones. 500,000 years passed. Humans had grown smarter, stronger, and hungrier. The Oldowan flakes were useful, but they were still crude. Then came a breakthrough. A new tool that would dominate the Earth for over 1,000,000 years, the hand axe. Acheulean tools. Around 1.7 million years ago, Homo erectus created Acheulean hand axes, large, teardrop-shaped, sharpened on both sides. Unlike random flakes, these were deliberately shaped, evidence of advanced planning. Hand axes were multi-purpose, cutting, digging, chopping, scraping. In the palm of a human hand lay a weapon, a knife, a hammer, a saw, all in one. This was the Swiss Army knife of every stone struck against another was more than survival. It was evolution at work. Tools didn't just change the way humans lived, they changed the way humans thought. The demands of tool-making Oldowan flakes required force. Acheulean. Hand axes required precision. Humans had to visualize the final shape before crafting. This mental blueprint forced the brain to grow in memory, planning, and problem-solving. To make a hand axe, you needed to see a tool hidden inside. A stone. It was an act of imagination, taking what nature gave and reshaping it into something new. The brain tool feedback. A sharpened stone was more than a blade. In human hands, it became a weapon. And with weapons, humans discovered the true power of cooperation. From edge to weapon, the earliest stone flakes cut meat and cracked bones. But soon, imagination pushed further. What if a sharp edge could be attached to a stick? This was the beginning of hafting, binding stone tips to wooden shafts using plant fibers, sinew, and resin. Wooden spears hardened in fire were tipped with stone blades, and the first true weapons were born. Every invention has a legacy, but few inventions have shaped humanity as profoundly as the first tools. A chipped stone in the hands of early humans was not just a survival trick. It was the beginning of everything. The Stone Age. Timeline: Oldowan tools, 2.6 years ago. Crude flakes, hammerstones, Acheulean hand axes, 1.7 years ago. Symmetry, foresight, multi-purpose use. Mousterian tools, Neanderthals, 300k years ago. Specialized scrapers, spear points. Later, polished tools, bows, arrows, and eventually metallurgy. The hand axe lasted over 1,000,000 years, longer than any empire, longer than any kingdom. It was humanity's first great invention. Tools as the foundation of civilization. Tools allowed humans to hunt and butcher efficiently, build shelters and process hides, expand into new lands, pass down knowledge across generations. Without tools, there would be no fire, no farming, no architecture. Every skyscraper, every computer, every spacecraft traces its lineage back to a chipped stone. Culture and identity tools became markers of identity. Different groups developed distinct tool styles, shaping cultural traditions. Tools represented more than survival. They symbolized skill, reputation, and knowledge. To hold a well-crafted axe was to hold power, not only over nature, but within the tribe itself. Lessons from the first tools showed that survival was not about claws or teeth, but imagination. Humans could reshape nature itself. This ability fueled innovation endlessly. The lesson of the first tools is simple. We are not defined by what we are born with, but by what we create. Outro. Call to action, 400, 500 words. Narration. The story of tools is the story of us. 2.5 million years ago, fragile creatures stood on the African savanna with little more than bare hands. Today, their descendants build machines that touch the sky and probes that travel among the stars. The difference was a stone. The first flake cut more than meat. It carved a path into the future. The first hand axe shaped more than wood. It shaped the destiny of a species. Every invention since, every breakthrough in history has been built on that first act of imagination, from stone to steel, from fire to electricity, from hand axes to artificial intelligence. Humanity's journey has always been the journey of tools. But it all began here, with one strike of stone against stone, in a forgotten corner of Africa. This was the true revolution. The moment when humanity ceased to be a passenger of nature and became its author. Join us on Life Before Civilization as we continue to uncover the forgotten chapters of our origins, from the taming of fire to survival in the Ice Age to the rise of farming and the first cities, because the story of humanity is not just about survival, it is about invention.